Hey everybody, it's Sarah. I am back today with a really quick layout share of my 8.5 by 11 and a few like miscellaneous size layouts that I've done for design team work. I just filled this whole guy up about this last probably 5 months, and I really don't do a lot of 8.5 by 11s, but I did another one today for a project that's due on Monday, and I thought, wow, I've got one full already, and I had to move into my teal 8.5 by 11 today, so I thought I'd do a really quick share, and I'm just going to get right into it. I hope the glare isn't too bad because they are in page protectors. This first one is one that I made for SpiegelMomScraps. It is a picture of my mother-in-law's tree. I did a circle. I cut a big circle out, I think by hand. I think I traced a plate, and it is just an extra piece of page protector. I sewed it shut and dumped in a really fun mix from SpiegelMomScraps from back at Christmas time, and I just embellished with some kind of old, I think these are like Queen and Company, or maybe pink, really old pink paisley chipboard stars that I had in my stash. Stapled on some feathers, did the date, did some gold Heidi shine, that kind of stuff. This next one is one that I did of my girls. I wanted to use these really cool wood wood clothespins from SpiegelMomScraps. So I did a line of twine, like they were kind of hanging on a clothesline, and I used some of the pink paisley cedar lane ephemera and stuff like that. Fun hand punched, or no, not hand punched. These are Lawn Fawn stitched leaves that I ran through my die cutting machine. Okay, this one is another really fun one that I used 3 different sequin mixes. I also used my die cut machine to cut out about 3-inch circles, and I filled them each with a different sequin mix, and then I sewed them shut. And then I used that same size die to do 3 different black and white pictures of my daughter. That one looks a little bit smaller. And I just used a couple different colors of Heidi Shine, some hand punched stars that I popped up on pop dots, and some thickers. And of course sewed around the edge with my sewing machine. This one I did for the Scrappery. Ooh, I lost a little word sticker there. And this was part of their it was a mood board challenge, maybe for March. This was a really cute one of my daughter. We did a photo shoot at Target for Christmas. And I used actually a really old like a resin word from the Scarlet Line Planner Society. I wanted to use that up. I was kind of following their gold, pink, and mint color scheme there. Here's one. I think this was my very first Shake It Monday video, and I punched a bunch of hearts out of a strip of paper and then popped it up on pieces of foam so those sequin mixes would shake around. Another one of my girls from that same photo shoot. Now we're moving on to some extra pictures I had from Easter. So I made a shaker pocket out of a glassine bag and filled it with a sequin mix and popped up my photo on top of it and tucked in some, gosh, that must be some Maggie Holmes bloom. Sewed on a strip at the top and the bottom with my sewing machine. Then I made a companion one for my older daughter, also from not Easter 2016, but Easter 2015, using up some of my stash. This was also for SpiegelMomScraps. Used some of her beautiful felt hearts, felt fetty hearts, I believe she calls them. And I also did a piece of glassine bag. If you guys are kind of watching your budget and you don't want to use a bunch of vellum because vellum is expensive, you can get a very similar look from glassine bags. She's got big ones in her shop for really cheap. This was also for the autumn, which would have been Australia's autumn, which would have been our spring cyber crop challenge. They had a few different challenges up on their Facebook page, and this was one of them. This was a picture of my shoes in the fall leaf. So even though I made this in March, I just reprinted some pictures that I had from our fall, since they're on a different season, obviously, than we are. Here's another one I did for the Scrappery. I did those big dabs of that paint. Let me see if I can find it. This guy right here. These are the Tim Holtz Distress Stains, and they are just like a bingo dauber, and you get them really juicy, and then you just give it a good splat on your page, and you get these really fun splats in kind of a coordinating color I did. and I used up some of the Journey collection. I bought every single piece of the Journey collection thinking that we were going to be going to South Dakota on vacation last summer, and we actually ended up going to Door County. So this didn't really work for Door County. So I have a lot of Journey left. So maybe we'll get out there eventually. I'm totally hoarding it and probably will buy more if we ever do make it out to South Dakota, because how perfect is that for a South Dakota vacation? Anyhow, another one that I did from the Scrappery, their Cyber Autumn crop. This was, you watch those Wilna videos and you try to get all crafty like her, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I tried really hard. I did watercolors, I did some white gesso, I did some splatters. I tried really hard. Here are a few. This was also part of a challenge. There's some beautiful sequin mix from Lucy's Cards. I think that might have been like peach something, really pretty. This was part of one of the do someone else's style challenge from the from the Scrappery Fall Cyber Crop. So I was supposed to show you what I thought Christy Van Ham style was, because she is also on the Scrappery team with me. You can find her on Instagram. She is Sweet Girl Designs. She is lovely. I love her a lot. Okay, here is another shaky one that I also made for the Scrappery Autumn Cyber Crop. Sorry about the glare. This is a selfie of me, which I usually don't do, but I actually did a selfie. I printed it out in black and white, and I had a leftover acetate piece from probably a year ago, if not more. It's a Bella Boulevard wood grain acetate. I sewed it down and I filled it full of a beautiful peach sequin mix from Lucy's Cards, and then I just used some extra embellishments I had laying around from Maggie Holmes. This is actually an old glassine bag from like Cosmo Cricket from like maybe 2 Christmases ago, something like that. Here's another fun one that I did of my daughter out on our boat. This was another piece of a Bella Boulevard acetate. It's got little clouds. It says happy and joyful and some other stuff. And I filled it with a sequin mix. This sequin mix was a really beautiful one from SpiegelMomScraps, and I used a bunch of her embellishments from her shop and tucked in some really fun enamel dots. Here is another one of my daughter from last Easter. I used some, probably C'est La Vie from Pink Paisley. That looks like, it might all be C'est La Vie actually. This is from probably, I don't know, one of the most recent collections that came out with a 6-pack of those. What was that? Happy Place probably. I used a beautiful sequin mix from SpiegelMomScraps. Some of those beautiful mirrored words, big paper clip. This was one of my favorite ones. This was part of a blog hop that I did. This is also my daughter from last Easter. This is a Jen Cho cut file that I backed with a few different colors of paper, and I just embellished with some of the Maggie Holmes Bloom, and another one of those. Were those from Bloom? I don't even remember, because I think 2 different collections recently came out with those, and I got at least 1 pack of each. So, and another one of those fun clothespins. This one I did a video on also for Shake It Monday. I cut out a wonky vellum heart on my silhouette, and I sewed it shut with some beautiful silver thread, and I dumped, it was called Wedding Bells Sequin Mix back there, just gorgeous. I used my mink and did a Heidi Swap mink bow. And I did some of that tinsel, which is kind of a grayish, silverish black Heidi shine on there. And I just used some big, I think these are called moonshine sequins to embellish. And a few enamel dots and Kaiser Craft rhinestones and pearls. And this was, I think, yeah, this was the first one that I used, the Paige Taylor Evans Fancy Free line. I was trying to challenge myself and not use any ephemera from her collection, since a lot of you can't get it because it's sold out and discontinued or whatever. So we were trying to show how you can use different stuff from SpiegelMomScraps to get a layout that's just as beautiful as if you had actually used the embellishments from it. So anyhow, thanks guys. This was just a really quick share video of my 8.5 by 11. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments and for subscribing. Bye ladies, see you soon.